one other thing we found out last night, and you called it, and you said it.
I called, one of the first podcasts.
You said it months ago.
Yeah.
You said if the levy doesn't pass, I assure you they're going to go again in November.
I said that.
And I said, well, let's wait and see if it's true. It's been confirmed by multiple people that the superintendent said if it doesn't pass in May,
it's going on the November ballot.
We're going to keep
which will
going.
Then
put it
run
against
the fire. I mean, not against.
Well,
but you'll be voting 2 levies.
Correct.
If it doesn't pass in May, it's definitely going on in November.
Correct.
Now, we could always try to verify, will there be some pork cut out of it? Because we always talk about the fat.
Which would be a good thing.
Mm-hmm. And if it'll run as is. But yes, confirmed that it will be going on November if it doesn't pass in March.
Board of Education members today that are on the board told us that we pushed back on the amount of money and we thought it was wasteful and it wasn't fair. They said no one listened to us, right? So I'm curious to see if they finally listen and say, okay, instead of needing 10 million, 9 point whatever it is, what will it be?
And the one comment that the person made last night was, the only thing on that levy I agree to pay for are the pro officers. Yeah. And we said the new sheriff,
the sheriff running,
who's running, unopposed, who's going to get it because he's unopposed, Steve Ratchford, we all know Steve, said that there will be pro officers in the school even if the levy doesn't pass.
Correct. Why didn't they tell us that? Why didn't they tell us that in the advertisement?
Yeah. So that was very interesting. So a lot of food to digest. We're still going through things. We're still waiting to talk to John Paul Hott because we have a question on the tax. We found a loophole. Now, this is what we're talking about. We found a little loophole to make the cities a little richer, if that makes sense, than the small countries, the small counties. So the loophole was because the state is now refunding. They're giving you a rebate, and that was one of the things the superintendent was really pushing. You're getting a rebate.
You'll get a credit.
Against
state income taxes.
But they give it back to you.
It's a credit.
Yes.
Depending on what you make and all that stuff. It's only on personal property taxes. Not on your house.
Not on your house.
Only on your vehicles. I'll read the list.
ATVs.
Let me read it.
Boats.
Trucks, motorcycles, buses, trailers, antique motor vehicles, farm tractors, and ATVs.
Okay.
So that's the only thing that you get a credit. It's not your house.
Yeah. So you get a credit on that. And that was done by Jim Justice.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of helping out.
They had a major
but here's the catch. Here's what we can't find out, and we've been trying to find out. Does that count toward levies? Because if it counts towards levies, that means the counties that have 100% tax, excess levy, get more money back, which makes it unfair. And we were talking to Judge Ryan, matter of fact, and he goes, I don't understand how that would be legal, because that would be putting more wealth into the bigger counties. Because most of the time it seemed like the bigger counties have the 100% levy. And he's like, that's a good question. He says, now John Paul Hott will know that. So that's one question we're trying to find out. So we're not able to confirm as of yet if that is a levy money 100% that you get back credit.
So here's what my
dollar for dollar.
Here's what my account said, because this is brand new. This is started in 2024, and this wasn't by the county. This was done by
Jim Justice, I think it was just Jim. I don't even know if
was it legislative.
I know they tried to pass it.
Well,
and then he wouldn't do it, and then he came through and did it. I don't know.
We got to wait for John to call us. So what he said is, on your tax form, there's no way to show what is your standard tax and your levy tax. You said that's not true because your receipt doesn't show it. Your receipt doesn't show,
but my bill did.
What the difference is?
The bill said this is your, and it even tells you how much goes to the school that you already pay.
On your tax.
That's how I got the percentage. I was like, no, wait. I took in $100 tax, or had to pay $100 tax. 50 of the $100 is already going to the school. I had not known that until I started. I was like, Well, they're already getting 50%.
Well, remember, the budget for the school system is around $20 million.
Yeah.
And when we've told people $20 million, they're like,
yeah, they were shocked too. So we're just asking questions.
We're being told not to ask questions, but we're asking questions.
We were told that we're asking too much questions.
Those Murray boys ask too many questions.
And the other one was, they just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. It stinks. You know what happens when you turn on the light?
It's your tax dollars.
Agreed. Here's something: when you turn on the light, cockroaches, they run when you turn on the light.
Yeah. Listen, we haven't even got into the $150,000 of taxes that is being requested to build another community center exactly like the one that's on the levee.
Listen, that'll be another conversation because
we're still
the school
digging into that.
Doesn't even really have the plans. They're calling it the athletic center.
Yeah, and it's supposed to have archery and wrestling and cheerleading and.
But that's the same thing that they're trying to put in Petersburg.
Yeah,
from what we're told,
almost the exact same thing.
We were told by a citizen that somebody commented that those were linked together. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
I don't know. They said they're linked together. So I said, well, is the school the money gets for $400,000? Are they going to pay that to the people running that? I don't know. We got to dig in more.
Yeah, we're digging in. It was really odd to have two almost the exact same. And like you said, we found out that the $400,000 for the school one,
only the shell.
It's only the shell.
Correct.
Okay.
Keep talking. I'll tell you exactly what we were told what the shell means.
So, one, they don't know where it's going to go yet.
Don't know where the land is.
They have no clue where they're putting it. Two, anything that is not covered in the levy, the athletic department has to fundraise to put in there. So you could be talking another $500,000 that the athletic department then has to fundraise.
How much are you saying?
$500,000.
I think it's more than that.
I'm just guesstimating, I mean, it could be. But here's what's exactly in it. Did you find it?
On here.
We're looking.
Keep talking.
Okay. So we've been trying to find out all these things, and the more you dig, the more questions it brings up. So that's why we end up asking more questions.
The only thing I said, can we see a rough draft of it?
Okay.
He said the only thing I've seen so far is a hand-drawn rectangle with a couple or three different rooms on the end. Maybe you can check with Hardy County to see if they have anything that we could go off of. I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm just not sure that anybody has a hardcore plan about the $400,000 that they're trying to.
So here's the question: do we even know it's going to be $400,000?
They know it's going to cost to put a shell up.
Okay.
And he said they just don't have a solid floor plan, to my knowledge.
Now you're in building. Mm-hmm. The more walls, the more rooms, the more it costs. Technically, right? Because you have, you're building
more materials, more labor. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Idea is across from the vocational school, but not finalized.
Okay.
Floor plan is not finalized either. There's a rough draft. So, it's $400,000 they're asking. They're really not sure.
I think there might have been electric, is what was in it too. But I think it was not the building was not complete, I guess we should say.
No. Oh, here it is. Foundation, shell, electric. Yes.
Okay. Foundation, shell, and electric.
Levy's paying for a shell, $400,000. Athletics will be responsible for raising funding for equipment and any other needs outside of that. And we were told by someone on the athletic committee that they priced that building out over 10 years. It was $15 million.
Yeah.
That's what someone told us.
Yeah, that was high end, top. It was inflation, anything that could happen.
They're putting $400,000.
Yeah,
that'll be on the next 10 levies.
Yeah,
the rest of it.
Which is another thing I'd said, that these levies are going to go for perpetuity.
Yeah, they're not going to.
They want this to continue every 4 years.
Well, the fact that if the citizens vote that we don't want it, that they're going to go back in another 6 months. Yeah. They want the money, and so. I don't know how deep we go into it because I got to work for a living, but
yeah, you have to leave for work. But we just wanted to give you that. We're still digging. All we're trying to do is get information out that we don't feel is out there being told. So, like the Meet the Candidate night. Okay, they're pushing the levy. Why didn't they say, "Hey, that $400,000 is only a shell"?
Well,
it's like you're not telling. Yes, this is great. but you're not telling the whole story. We want the whole story.
Can I make a comment about that?
Okay.
I think it tells you, if you want to know what the focus is of the school, they are on every Board of Education candidate, meet the candidate night, whatever they do, they always have someone there pushing the levy. Why don't they have someone there pushing the fact that we're doing poor in performance in education? Why is it just to get money? It is such a money grab. And I'm not here. My children are here. I'd be so offended if I went to find out the new candidates that were voting to hopefully fix the mess. Why are they there pushing the levy every time? Why are they not pushing, here's our plan to improve our education? No one has a plan to improve the education. We have a plan to put a parking lot, new lighting, a new building front. So I'm just shocked that there's no discussion at these meetings. They want that levy passed so bad.
Yeah.
That they're doing things illegally to do it.
I will say something else. Very disappointed in the Republican Executive Committee. They're not even Republicans as far as I'm concerned.
I didn't know Republicans were for more taxes. I'll say that.
They're rhinos. That's all they are. And you never, when you're having a meet the candidate night, you don't have people there pushing the levy. It's meet the candidate night. Yeah. Now, if you want to ask them, are you for the levy or are you against the levy in the question? But no. This is about the candidates.
I don't know if we discussed it today, but I was there until I went to the ER passing a kidney stone.
Yeah, in the middle of it, he's up in
the
ER
was lots
passing
of fun,
a kidney stone.
FYI.
And even some of the candidates asked me later.
How's your brother?
Is your brother all right?
No, it took me. So I tell people, I'm like, the best gas station in the world is Wardensville, West Virginia. It is that I think it's a Shell station. I said, I passed the kidney stone in that bathroom. And when I walked,
like 4 days later.
Oh, it was 5 days later. I walked out and I'm like, they're like, wow, he's really excited coming out of the bathroom. So yeah, that wasn't fun. But I went and I was there for a little bit and I was a bit shocked by it. There was no professionalism. There was no organization. It's interesting. I'll put it that way. The people running it, what was told before and what was emailed was not what was told then.
It was changed.
It was changed. And I said, well, why was it changed? I don't know what I'm doing. Well, apparently,
Yeah.
So.
And it was like that with a couple meet the candidate nights.
Yeah. They
kept changing
need stronger
things.
leadership. They really do.
Leadership is an issue.
Leadership's an issue in everything. It's always leadership. Same thing with the schools. We get told about the teachers not being engaged it's so funny because it's like when you go to a manager, why aren't you doing well? Why is your team not performing? It's always the team, right? And so that's what it's like when you talk to the people at the Board of Education. It's always the team. But when you talk to the team and you hear what they say about their support system, you're like, okay, it's always leadership.
We've actually talked to some teachers and been like, what do you need?
Yeah. How can
what
we
do
help?
you expect? What do you see as the problem? And listen, this would be my thing. And I don't know if we could ever organize it. I am like buried with the pool opening and weddings now. But getting a large group together and just letting them air what they think the issues are and not being afraid to see that you have some warts. And
that will make them look bad. They're not going to do that. I'm just telling you.
The conversations that we've had, we're like, okay, so what help do you need? What are you looking at? What do you think the issues are? I said, do people not care? Do they not feel supported? Do they not have the curriculum? What is it? What do you feel? And then you get to hear what people are actually feeling, and then you can improve it.
Our current leadership is not secure enough in themselves to do that, just for the record.
Well, it hurts.
No, but they're not secure enough to do it. I promise you that.
Yeah, but I mean,
I can tell that by.
I'll be honest though; those conversations,
they're the most productive.
Yes, but they sting.
Of course,
they sting.
They should.
I came years ago. Kelly Varner, love him. He came and he's like, "I don't like your worship music. You need to do better," and it hurts. But then you calm down, you look at yourself, you're like, oh, okay, I see where he's getting.
Is that all I have to say to you?
No.
Kelly's dead now. Maybe we call Jonathan his son or something.
But it's those conversations sting, but they're for what's best. And here we are. This is my 17th year of leading praise and worship, and hopefully I've
Kelly's been dead for 15 of it, though. So he's not come back to tell you how you're doing.
That's true. But his son is around us a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
But those conversations hurt and they sting. But they're fruitful.
Correct.
And they're for the...
It's the only way to improve.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And we left our meeting last night, and I felt like the people saw what we were talking about. We saw what they were talking about, and we got a consensus.
Yeah, so. I mean, there's so much that needs to be done, but it has to be done by leadership. Money's not going to fix it. Trust me, money's not going to.
Well, we know we found. I guess we should say now. Sorry, this is being longer. That they can't pay the teachers extra. Yeah, we found that out. That was one of our questions.
We were given that by the treasurer.
The state sets what the teachers make, and this shocked me. That the teachers all across the state make the same,
good or bad. Tenure in education.
Yes,
those are the two things.
That's how, and they have a flow chart or whatever you want to say that says, "Oh, you have a 4-year degree. You've been working for 10 years.
Yeah,
this is what you make."
Now we don't know if they follow that. We assume they do. We don't know if they follow that because we've had some people say that looks good, but that's not how it happens.
We did,
and they said no. That person, they gave that person 18 years, but that's because they're a child of such and such. They're only here 5 years.
Yeah,
we've heard.
We have heard,
and we have no way to verify that.
It's hard to verify.
Yeah. But we did get that sheet. But we were told by Tony if they ran a levy, and on the levy it was teachers' pay, they could pay teachers more.
But it had to be the same.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So
you couldn't pay the outstanding ones.
Yeah. Yes. Because we were like, hey, the young lady that won the Milken Award, $80,000 easy. She should be making $10,000 less than the administration. That's it.
Didn't she get a check for that?
Yes. Yeah.
So that was good.
But so we found out, no, if we set the bonus at 1,000, even with the levy, then
everyone,
the whole way across, which I think is the most.
It's a union.
Ridiculous thing. No. They said that was done by the legislative branch. That is
really.
That's what they said.
That's not the Teachers Association.
That was determined. Wow. That's what Tony said. that was determined by the legislation. Yeah, the legislative branch, which just to me, that needs change.
Well, we asked them about recruiting because I said the recruiting. We do a horrible job recruiting. I don't know who does it, but we do a horrible job recruiting. I mean, every school. And it's just not a problem for Grant County. It's a problem for West Virginia and beyond. But we were told we can't get teachers. We can't get teachers. My wife subs, our mother subs. And so it's an issue. But looking into it, when you look at can't getting teachers, you say, well, what's our recruiter doing? Well, he can't offer him more money. He can't. It's all the same money. Okay. So if it's not money, it has to get a little creative in how you're recruiting. And so we've not been doing very good in that category. To get teachers here, and I'm not saying my wife wants a job. Trust me, she would never do that. But in her recruiting, Chicago, we live in Chicago. It was one of the hardest cities to recruit people to. You're like, what, Chicago? People didn't like the weather.
Cold and windy.
Remember, there's 9.5 million people in the Chicago metro. They didn't like the weather, and it wasn't cool like L.A. or New York, which New York has some similar weather. But so recruiting, when you can't rely just on the money, you got to sell them on the area and the community.
We're going to support you. I mean, if so, this is my thing. Discipline. We've heard a lot about discipline, not breaking any confidences, but from people in the school.
Yeah,
discipline. They're not supported on their discipline.
Correct.
If they were supported 100%. I think that would just be a big thing. It would be
but why aren't they supported? What are they told? If we discipline, the state will come take us over.
That's the big thing that
we're
told all the
that's
time.
like the major threat.
Yeah.
If you do anything, if you don't vote 5-0 as a Board of Education, because Tony did tell us, he said that it wasn't the only reason. He texted me for clarification. Wasn't the only reason the state took over, but he said there was the Board of Education was 2-3, 3-2.
3-2.
So if they can't be like that, then the Senate, who's always bipartisan.
Yeah.
Why don't we get rid of the Senate? Because they vote the
I
same
think
way.
that shows. I mean,
it's good. There's different thoughts and looks.
There should be different thoughts.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're not always
5-4, 6-3.
Yeah.
I mean, and it doesn't always go the way you think.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's when Trump had appointed a lot of the judges. What did he appoint? 3? I think.
Yeah, I think
they were like, we're never going to win again. And then something comes up, and you're like, wait, that went. totally different than we expected.
Well, you're not supposed to vote as a Supreme Court on your politics.
Yeah. And then
you're not supposed to.
You had the 9-0 to say that Trump can't be taken off the ballot.
Yeah.
So the people that were appointed by Obama and
it was unconstitutional.
Yeah, and everyone's like, this is a travesty. It's like they all a consensus, and I know consensus, then something must be really right.
Yeah.
So okay,
true.
Well, we've overdone our time. We're still doing some digging. We're asking the questions that need to be asked.
We'll have more.
So
we have a lot more money spent unwisely.
Yeah.
We have a lot more.
Yeah.
I won't go into it. We have more to go over.
Yep.
So, wait, one question. Just one quick question. How much COVID money is left to be spent?
Oh, you asked me.
Do
you remember?
It was like a little shy of $300,000,
okay.
right?
Okay, and we found out it was
6.9 million.
Yeah, it was
6.
almost $7 million.
So we still have COVID money left to be spent.
So here's the thing:
where can we spend it?
If the levy doesn't get passed, give Union their stage.
Yeah,
and
they won't do that.
They should.
No, they won't.
That was another thing that we hear a lot.
We're forgot about. We get the leftovers.
Yeah.
People in Petersburg don't care.
People don't care. Yeah, it's all about Petersburg. They said that to a man. Everyone said that. Yeah.
And here's the thing. I understand the economics of more people here than there. I totally get that.
Because we say, this was the big thing. Hey, 60% of the taxes
come from your businesses up here.
But that was just Mount Storm, the power plant.
Yeah.
You've got the windmills.
Yep.
And you've got all construction up there.
If they're up there. I mean, I know they have a location up there.
But they have a location up there. So it's probably a lot more than 60%.
Well, I said this in a previous podcast. I asked one of the basketball coaches, I said, listen, she said we need, I forget what she said they needed. I said, well, listen, you guys are responsible for 60% of the levy money. Why don't you get 6% of the revenue? She's like, yeah, whatever. Good luck with that. But it is true. They know that their businesses dry, because they said we send money to Petersburg because without us up here, Petersburg wouldn't have the money.
Petersburg gets the mountain's money.
Yeah. And then the mountain gets left over.
Yeah.
Which is, it's sad. It's really sad. I mean, the fact that we're not one county with one voice, the way that the leadership has done it, they feel, and it's not just them. It was other leadership in Grant County.
Yeah.
And they've said them by name to us, which I won't repeat. They said, oh, those people, they don't come up here. No, they don't care about us. It's all about Petersburg, So it's been very interesting to see how they feel up there. And it's sad because it always isn't money, Now, money is certainly a part of it, but there's different economics. I know there's more children. That's understood.
Well, we had someone ask. It was one of the questions when I interviewed Mitch one time.
Okay.
Someone said, can you give more money for Union for their sports programs?
Remember how he answered?
He was like, well, we'll take a look at it and see. I'd have to go back, but it was more like, we'll take a look at it and see, and if there's interest, we can do it. And it's hard because it is a small school. I understand it's less students. But we're also finding out, and we did some research, that why are the people out in Shear being bussed all the way into
It'd be closer than to Boston Union?
Yeah.
Do we know that for sure?
Okay, so to go up the mountain, it was 10 miles, and it's 18 at the red light at Shear.
The stop sign.
It's a red light too, but yeah, there's a blinking red light there now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, to 18 from there to Petersburg.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why the bus didn't go up there. I mean, I know that Petersburg wants a middle school.
Someone told us that they have the choice, but they won't run the bus.
Yeah, you're not going to run a bus for. I get that. You're not going to take half up and half back. They'd all have to be assigned there.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm thinking that would give you more numbers up there.
Yeah.
And kind of, make it, because you're spending the money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make it more fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
Now, might get the Shear people upset, but
it depends where they want to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the question we asked, what's the challenge up here? And they're like, we're up here.
Yeah.
So
that's a challenge.
Yeah.
So
it's sad.
Okay, more questions. We're going to keep asking, see what happens, and hope you all enjoyed this. Remember, early voting is going on right now. Your vote is important.
Yep.
If you are asking the same questions we are, make sure you vote wisely. Everyone, catch you on the flip side.